Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. I'm back again. So this has been a kind of funny summer. Sometimes I'm here and sometimes I'm not, but that's the way summer goes sometimes, right? For those of you who are new, my name is Lillian with Stampers Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And I love paper crafting, particularly card making and 3D projects, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Again, for those of you who are new, my son and his two children are home from the Netherlands this month. So we've been busy doing family activities. Last Monday we were camping with them and our daughter and her family. So the cousins were having fun together, and we as grandparents were having fun with them as well. But I'm glad that we can be back together tonight. In fact, they're all out doing other things today. So we actually, Harry and I, tackled that famous apple tree, the second apple tree, and we got 9 apple pies made and some bags of sliced apples already in the freezer. And that's it for pies for me. We'll likely do some more bags of apples, but that's what we accomplished today. So as we go down to my desktop, why don't you say hi, or even share what you have accomplished today, whether it is even just some relaxing time, because that is a major accomplishment in itself, I think. So make sure you say hi. Even if you're watching the replay, I love that you say hi and that you let us know what's happening in your life a little bit and just make that connection. That makes all the difference. So just getting set up here. That's why I am kind of rambling. So today's date is August the 18th. Just celebrated our daughter's birthday last week, so that was a fun family celebration as well. And so it's August the 18th, and yes, it's a lot of apples, Marilyn. I wasn't sure I really wanted to do them, but we got them, and you can't even tell we took any off the trees. But fortunately, many of my Stampin' friends are taking advantage of dropping in and picking some apples, and so we're gradually putting those apples to use. So if you live nearby and want some apples, just give a holler. We've got lots to share. So speaking of sharing, I wanted to share the In Color sale. So it is, I guess, 2/3 of the way over. But during August, if you buy product that has any of these 5 In Colors, so the 2025 to 2027, they are 15% off. So it's the perfect time to stock up, to save. So it's not just, say, strawberry slush cardstock or the ribbon, but it's anything that contains it, like the designer paper we used last week, and the designer paper we're going to use today. So make sure that you check out that sale. It's the perfect time to save money. So this is the designer paper we're going to use tonight. It's called Beautiful Gallery. Now I have featured Timber Tiger In Color and Strawberry Slush, but tonight we're going to zero in on Secret Sea and Cloud Cover. So because this package of paper has those colors in it, this package of paper is actually 15% off. So that this is a package, a 6x6 package that many of you fell in love with. So let's just have a quick little refresher look. So we've got scenes on one side and then an overall design on the back. And sort of rich, regal kind of colors. Maybe great for vintage or all kinds of different things. So gorgeous, gorgeous colors. There you really see Cloud Cover and Secret Sea. There we go. We've got that one. And so there we go. Those are the patterns, and you would get 4 each of these. So there are 12 different double-sided designs, and you would get 4 of each. So if you don't want that much, remember you could share with a friend too. So that's always an option. So let's put these aside, and I chose to bring in this one here. So this is the designer paper. We're going to use this side. We're actually going to use a bit of this side too. And we need to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So we'll cut that in a minute. We had to decide what color to put with it, and I ended up going with cloud cover because I thought that made this just pop, and yet it still honored the in colors there. So let's start off with cutting this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I think I'm going to zero in on this part here. So I'll cut this at 4 inches and 4 by 5 1/4. I think I was saying something different with my mouth there. There we go. So we've got this. Now this, I'm going to be sharing a fold tonight that is just fun. It makes your feature, your focal part pop. And I first learned this from my upline Karen Duke, and then I've seen it lots of other places too. So here is our card base. So it's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And we'll just burnish that fold so it's nice and sharp. And then this is going to be centered on top. But we're not going to fasten it right now. Well, actually we can. We can fasten it. But we want to be careful not to fasten in here because, let me just bring in the dies. We are going to be cutting out of the center, and we want to be able to use that paper that we cut out. So you can use any shape you want. I decided to go with the Textured Notes dies. You know that they're a favorite of mine. I know that this is going to be like that. So when I glue it down, I don't want glue in this area here. So to help me with that, I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to put this just to show that this is approximately where that die is going to go, where it's going to cut out. And I'm going to put glue around here, but I'm not going to put it here. So there we go. We've got the glue like that. And we're going to fasten that to the front of the card and center it. And because it's liquid, we can wiggle it around a little bit. So we've got it like that, which looks very pretty just as it is. So you could just put a word on there, you could stamp right on there, and your card could be done. But we're going to do something with it. I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and we're going to now make what's going to go on the inside of the card. So we have a piece of basic white. I'm going to bring the arm out here, and it's 5 by 8. And we're going to score it at 2, 3 1/2, and 5 1/2. So let's move that out of the way. So score it at, I better bring this in so that I remember. Score it at 2. Make sure I'm using the scoring blade. 2, 3 1/2, and 5 1/2. Oh, I didn't need to put the arm out after all. So we've got those score lines done. And I'm just going to fold them, and then we're going to do the die cutting, and we'll come back. So when you go to fold this, so the first one, this is the 2-inch one, we're going to fold it in like that. We'll burnish that fold really well. Then the next fold is going to go in as well. So now we've got it looking like that. And then we've got one more fold, and we're going to fold it the other way. So we've got it. Now we've got, I guess if you were looking this way, it's kind of a stylized S. But so we've got 2 mountains and a valley is what we can call that. Now we'll put this aside, and we're going to do our die cutting. So what we're going to do is we'll bring our die cutting machine in. And looks like I left one plate back at the other, and we're going to open our card up flat so that it's like this, and we're going to center this right about here. So to hold it in place, I am going to use a bit of removable tape. I've got some Post-it note tape here, And I'll just put one on this side and one on this side. And I'll grab my other plate and run it through. And we're cutting the opening in the card. Now we're cutting through 2 thicknesses. My Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine does that no problem, but some are different, a little bit different. So you might want to go back and forth. It's totally up to you. So now we are going to remove this tape and remove that center piece. Just do it gently so we don't rip anything. So now we have an opening like that. And we have cut out this, which we are going to use. And we've also cut out this piece here. And now we're going to bring in a die that is slightly smaller, the next smallest down. And we're going to flip this over and cut out this piece right here. So we'll get this in position again. Oh, I see you saying hi to each other. That's excellent, guys. Isn't it fun, the friendships we've made through our crafting? I am so excited about that, the connections. So now we've got this. And we're going to run that through as well. And we're going to keep that. This we're not going to worry about right now. So now we have this piece that we cut out of here, and then we cut this piece down to here, and we're going to make this our focal image. But before we do that, let's fasten this in. So let's tuck this away. So what's going to happen here is we are going to glue this first panel, the 2-inch panel, to here. We have to be a little bit careful because you'll notice that if I slide this into here, if I put glue right on the 2-inch panel, I'm going to have glue sticking out here, and I don't want that. So we're going to be a little bit careful. What I'm going to do is run glue on here instead of on the white. And then I know that this is going to be okay here, and I can go all the way up here. So making sure not to put glue on this part right here. So that's what that's all about. And now we want to go up to that fold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from this side like this, and I like to turn it around. I'm going to pull this up. I don't want to go over that fold. I just want to go up to it. Otherwise, it's not going to work very well. It's going to bind. So I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to close it, make sure that it's not going to get in the way of closing it. There we go. It's all good. So now we have just that 2-inch panel fastened behind where the opening is. Now you can do this technique with any type of opening. It could be a circle, could be an oval, or whatever. Now we're going to just pull these 2 folds so that's flat, and it's like this. So in case you're wondering, so there's our first fold there. We're straightening it out, then we're folding back, so it's looking like that. And we're going to put adhesive here. So how many of you, I know some of you have made this kind of fold before. How many of you have made it? And what stamps did you use? That would be, oh, I should have mentioned. Then I put the glue on, got ahead of myself, then put this over it, and then I know it's going to be in the right spot. So now when I open it up, I have that kind of look there. When it's closed, it's nice and flat. But when it's open, it has this almost a square there. Not quite, but almost. And I didn't get any glue there. Trust me, I have done it. So that's something you really want to be careful of. Now we know this is going to fit in here because we just cut it out, right? So we're going to put this here, and we're just going to put glue on this side here of that fold. Nowhere else, and we don't have to go to the edges. That's not important. In fact, likely wise not to, because we don't want the glue to ooze out. And then we're putting this back in. We just finished cutting that out. Now we're putting it back in, but there's only glue behind this part here. And now let's just see how this goes. Now we still need to do the focal image, but look at what happens. That works like almost like a little, this little mechanism that makes it pop out. So I'm calling these cards that pop. I'm not sure what the actual name of it is. And then we're going to do some stamping on here, and it is going to go here. So you can see this would make a great masculine card, or just a nice card all around. But often you're looking for cards for those guys in your life. And I decided I wanted to go back to prairie grass. Now, we did use this stamp set on this card here. This is likely one of my most watched videos lately and most pinned on Pinterest. So if you are interested, I will put the link in the comments afterwards. But that's the stamp set that we're using there. So we could use any of these grasses. Wonderful words. I needed a birthday card, a masculine birthday card, so I'm actually going to change the words out. But this little piece is fairly small, so we could have gone with either of these stamps. And I think I am going to go with this one here. When I was practicing, I used the smaller one like that, and then I had room for the words. But with the larger one, I didn't have room for the words, but I'm going to show you how to work around that too. So those were just some of my practice ones. So we've got cloud cover here as our in color. We're going to bring in Secret Sea to stamp with. I just absolutely love these two colors together. And we're going to bring in the grass. Here we go. So we've got this grass here. We're going to ink it up. There we go, like that. And stamp on here. Just like that. So here's a question for you. How many of you remember to stamp on designer paper? It's something that I forget to do quite often, but yet it's so effective. So I wanted to do that right here. So there we have, basically it's a very simple focal image. If you didn't want to make the opening, you could just cut layers of a cardstock and just make it on top of your card like that, make it flat. Marilyn, you've made this, but you don't remember the stamp set? Oh, I remember you making it. Now I have to remember, I can't remember the stamp set either. Maybe somebody else here remembers what stamp set you used. We're just going to stick this down. You could put it on dimensionals, but I'm going to keep it nice and simple. The focus is on this fold. Just like that. Now we could bring in, from the same set of dies, we have this nice long one like that, and we could put a greeting down there, or we could put a circle. Now, if you want it to overlap your image, make sure you do the overlapping on this side here, not over here, because this part is going to pop out. But you definitely can overlap on this side. So this would work just fine here. And I'm going to show you one later on. Actually, do you know what? I kind of like that. I was going to do happy birthday down there, or let's celebrate. I'm going to go with You're So Kind, because I really like how that looks, and it just pops right there. So I am going to put this on dimensionals, but I do not want, of course, to put the dimensionals there. So I'm going to bring in some minis, and I know that I am going to be in this area here. So let me just see. Yes, I could do another one here. I'm going to be really generous and put one there as well. I could put ribbon I better close this up. Ribbon behind it, but I am going to give this to a guy, I think. So I think I will just leave the ribbon off. Twine would look really good behind it. Some linen thread. Actually, I didn't think of that, but why don't I grab some linen thread and put it behind there. So how many of you have this set of paper or have it on your wish list? I know that it was a big hit for a lot of people, so just curious as to who has it. I have it, but haven't played with it because we've been so busy with family things and traveling. I haven't played much with it. So I just am putting a bit of adhesive on this side here, so the side that's going to go here, and I can use that to loop my threads around and just push them down into that. Then if I don't like where they are or how they look, I can easily pull them off. Let's just see here. I never thought of doing this till now, so just there. I think that adds a little bit, and the dimensionals here will help hold it in place, and we've got it like that. So look at that, isn't that neat? Alrighty, and we need some embellishments, right? So we have a couple of neat embellishments that I thought were potential. These are the neutral matte dots. So these would look, this one I colored, but let's look at this side. So those would look good on there. We also have what's called the basic gray and smoky slate pearls. So they would look good. So you know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be asking you what I should use. And then, of course, we have the in colors. And we have, let me just see here. We have Secret Sea and Cloud Cover. That would work. So I think it's between these two. I'm going to tuck these away. And so should we go with the in colors or the pearls? In colors or the pearls? Okay. What do you think? I'll peel these off. And while you're writing that in, just a reminder, if you place a $60 or more order with me this month, you get a real neat package of in colors. I see smoky slate. Okay, we will go with the pearls. So if you place a $60 or more order with me this month, you get a card base in each of the 5 colors. You get some 4x6 designer paper that has the in colors, and then you also get the 2-tone cardstock and this little sliver of flat pearls in each of the in colors. So if you've seen something that you really like and you don't have a demonstrator, pop that order in either on my online store or contact me, and we will make sure you've got that. So we're going with the pearls, and I haven't used these for a while, so I'm kind of excited to be going back to using them. Let's see, I think this would look really nice down in here, and we will do another one maybe up here like that. And there you have it. There we have our fun pop-up card. You can write here. You could also write here, or you could decorate this as well. So, whoops, we got a little backing there. Get rid of that. Those famous backings. There we go. But what I love about this card is how flat it goes. So it's great for mailing, and then it pops up like that. So that is tonight's card, but I have a few others to share with you. So we've got that one. Here is one when my upline first shared this fold with me. The first one I made was with the popcorn because it's popping up, right? Now, here's a little something to learn. I put a panel of designer paper here. This is designer paper. It's in the Secret Sea, but I forgot that my opening had a design, and so the designer paper from here showed through this opening. So if you're doing a layer that has openings, make sure to not put colored paper there, but it's not a big deal. And then because I cut out the 2 layers and just stamped on the white, I had this left, so I put it in here. It was a little bit too big, so I just did a little amputation and then whoops, and then put some on the back where we can sign our name and put the Stampin' Up! Logo. So there is a totally different one like that. And then, you know, that beautiful, beautiful daisy sunflower, pardon me, embossing folder. I thought, could we do it with an embossing folder? So I played around a little bit and did the same principle, but it's largely just white, but it has that great embossing folder, and then it opens like that. And so it's like that. So if you want to know how to make this, the one with the embossing folder, just put embossing folder in the comments and maybe I'll make a video for that. And when I was experimenting, I always, as you know, like to use scrap paper. And so this is another one, a rectangular one that's in the planning stages with the flower stamped lightly there. And here's one with the circle here. And this was my planning one for this one here. So that's how I plan. Now I thought the cards that pop, wouldn't this be good? Popping up to say hi. So the toadstools would be fun. Basically any kind of stamp set would work beautifully. So I hope that you've got ideas popping into your head a little bit there. So I also wanted to share, we've got the prairie grass here. After I did the video showing this card, I started to experiment, and just like here, I stamped on designer paper here with the great big stamp. It's just gorgeous. I have to make it into a card. And I just kept playing with that big stamp, and here I embossed with silver on an oval. And here it's just black and white. And then here it's gold. So you can see tons of potential. And then I saw this card I cased from Mary Dethridge. So here it is. What she did is she stamped it like this and then cut 2 different panels out of it and added the white. And look at that. It's just white and Secret Sea. And it is absolutely stunning. And it's all embossed. So hopefully that's got your ideas popping along in your head. And if you'd like, again, to learn how to make the sunflower one, just put embossing folder and I'll show you how to do that. I learned a few things with that. And then let me know which one of these is your favorite. Do you like the one we made tonight? Do you like the popcorn? Or do you like the sunflower? So give me a little heads up about that. And remember, if there's something you see that you would absolutely love to have, visit my online store and make sure to place an order there or go to your local demonstrator as well. So thanks for joining me, everyone, and take care. Bye-bye.